The water heater is leaking electricity. Let's not worry about where it's leaking for now. Maybe you should go put some clothes on. Hi everyone. My name is Chinmo. This girl in front of me is called Jiang Shui. She's my new roommate. I heard her family went bankrupt, and she had no choice. So she came out to work. The only reason she's willing to squeeze in with me is one, it's cheap. But ever since she moved in with me, my life has been anything but peaceful. It's practically worse than death. If it weren't to save on rent, I wouldn't do it even if you paid me. The first day she walked in, I tried to be a gentleman and help her with her luggage. But she shut me up with one sentence. Did you wash your hands? My hand froze in mid-air. It was numb from an electric SOC. I couldn't stretch it out or pull it back. Totally embarrassed. In the end, I had to awkwardly sidestep to let her pass, watching her small frame, struggling to drag that huge suitcase through the door. I also forgot to introduce myself. From the look of it, she didn't want to know me either. As soon as she entered the room, she frowned. I knew exactly what she was disgusted by. There was always this indescribable rotten smell in the room. I'd lived here for a long time before I got used to it. Do you have the key? I'm going out for a bit later. She just hummed softly through her nose in response, without even lifting her eyelids. I couldn't be bothered to argue with her either, so I just walked out the door. That day, I went drinking with my buddy. By the time I got home, it was almost 11. I groggily pushed open the bedroom door, and I was stunned on the spot. Is this still my dump? The floor was so clean you could see your reflection. The mess of documents was neatly stacked. I have to admit, having a clean girl in the house isn't bad. I crashed onto the bed and fell asleep. The next day, I got up to get ready for work, and found the table completely empty. The worst part was, my UET by drive was gone. That thing was my lifeblood. All my inspiration from years of collecting was on it. So I immediately went to find Jiang Shui. Hey, Jiang Shui, you cleaned up my room yesterday, right? No need to thank me. I'm not thanking you. Did you see the UET by drive on my desk? I thought for sure Jiang Shui had just put it away for me, but she casually said, I threw it away, dude. My UET by drive had hundreds of gigs of data on it, and you just threw it away? It's just a crappy UET by drive. I'll buy you a new one. Unless it was full of porn? Hearing that, I completely lost it. Today, I'm laying down the rules, no exceptions. We need to separate private space and common areas. We argued for a full 10 minutes. Finally, we reached an agreement. The living room, bathroom, and kitchen are shared. The bedroom is private territory. The balcony counts as his private space. Because he needs to hang his underwear, he's too embarrassed to let me see it. My room faces south, so it gets plenty of sun. I can dry my clothes in my room. Her room is on the shady side. It never sees any sunlight. As compensation, he agreed to cover the utility bills. After we set the rules, she turned and went back to her room. Soon, I heard sobbing sounds, and it got louder and louder. I scratched my nose, puzzled. I didn't really bully her, did I? Anyway, I barely use any water or electricity. It's not lie I made her pay extra. Saturday morning, I was having a sweet dream. Bang! The bedroom door was shoved open violently. I was so startled, I practically jumped out of bed, and came face to face with Jiang Shui's panicked expression. Dude, could you at least knock next time? Why didn't you lock the door? Does this crappy door of mine look like it has a lock? It's nothing. I just came to borrow 2 hangers. What are you doing in here? Practicing your handiwork. What the hell? I'm a big guy, over 6 feet tall, and I was blushing like crazy from that joke. She took 2 hangers, and the corners of her mouth curled up again. Oh wow, such cute cartoon underwear. Hey, dude. Don't you have anything better to do? Want me to give you a pair? From the slightly flustered way she scurried away, I could tell she wasn't as calm as she seemed. Roommates, you know, there has to be a period of adjustment. What I originally thought adjustment meant was both people finding each other's boundaries and not crossing them, making decent roommates. But she's not like that. She knows exactly where your boundaries are, and she keeps dancing back and forth across them. For example, she still sneaks into my room like a cat, or barges into the bathroom while I'm washing up. And when she finds me in there, she lets out a screech like an air raid siren. I have no idea what she's screaming about, and she has basically zero common sense. After throwing clothes in the washing machine, she just leaves the rest to fate. She can't cook, but she insists on messing around, and almost set the whole place on fire. Every time, I have to grumble and teach her step by step. The only thing that comforts me is, she learns pretty fast. The second time she cooked, she already knew not to use water on a grease fire. She poured laundry detergent on it instead. July 16th is his birthday. How do I know? Because that day, he was like a cat possessed, muttering on the living room couch all day. Today's my birthday. Please don't make me work overtime. Actually, I usually sleep pretty well, but I couldn't stand her chanting like a mantra. When I was about to burst with anger and remind her, she had already left. Today, she left in a particular hurry. Her bedroom door was open. I didn't go in. I just glanced from the doorway and saw a takeout box on her desk with half a steamed bun and a small bowl of porridge left and 2 small boxes of vegetables. That was her dinner last night. Laya ghost-possessed. I turned around and went downstairs to buy groceries, timing it for when she got off work. I cursed myself for being crazy while I was cooking. When she pushed the door open, there were already 4 dishes and a soup on the living room table, and a small 4-inch cake next to it. She was stunned on the spot. What? Do you have friends coming over tonight? Some idiot is having a birthday today. How did you know it's my birthday today? To be honest with you, if you had been just a little louder this morning, the whole building would have known. I didn't realize that even though you look a bit sketchy, you actually have a good heart. This is the first time someone celebrated my birthday since my dad died. You're a pretty girl. And you have a great figure. It's just a shame you had to have a mouth. After the birthday, she didn't go back to her room. She just fell asleep on my lap. And me? I didn't sleep a wink all night. It's not lie I had any ulterior motives. It's mainly because my leg was so numb I couldn't feel it. After that day, our relationship really broke the ice. We could cuddle on the couch, eat snacks, and watch TV. She probably liked my steady personality. And me? I was purely after her good looks. One day, she was taking a shower in the bathroom. I was wolfing down my food in the living room. Suddenly, a scream came from inside. The water heater is leaking electricity. Then Jiang Shui came running out of the bathroom naked. Honestly, my brain just froze. I was frozen solid for a full 3 seconds. Let's not worry about where it's leaking for now. Maybe you should go put some clothes on. After that accident, she became too embarrassed to see me. I kept avoiding her for about 3 months. I don't know if it was from eating something bad or what, but my stomach felt like a drill was boring into it. At first, I thought I could just tough it out, but then it started feeling worse and worse. Just as I was struggling to get to the hospital, Jiang Shui suddenly rushed over and cupped my face in her hands, which were cold and trembling. At that point, I was in so much pain I could barely speak. Without a word, she put on her jacket, helped me up, and we headed downstairs. And we were on the 6th floor. I can't figure out how her frail body managed to carry me down. She tried to hail Attack 11, but she'd forgotten her phone. So, half carrying, half dragging me, she struggled until the wee hours to get me into the air. By the time I'd finished my 4 and felt better, the sun was almost rising. The doctor said it was just a stomach spasm, nothing serious. Thank you. Get some sleep. It's almost time for work. It's okay. I took the day off. A few days later, I was fully recovered. To thank her, I rolled up my sleeves and cooked for the whole afternoon. Jiang Shui ate and kept saying how good it was. Can you cook for me for the rest of my life? Huh? I was so caught off guard that I nodded, but when I saw her smile, I realized I was overthinking it. When she said cook for life, she literally meant just cooking. After that, she stopped ordering takeout for dinner and stuck to me like glue to cook, saying it was cheaper and more hygienic. I grumbled about the extra work, but whenever I remembered how she carried me to the hospital with that reckless determination, my cooking speed would pick up. But today was strange. The food was all set out, and after waiting 5 minutes, she still hadn't come to eat. I pushed open her door to trek, and found her lying on the bed, crying. What's wrong? Who bullied you? Just tell me straight. We're buddies, after all. Actually, it wasn't complicated. Jiang Shui never worked overtime at her company. She left right on time. With her social skills, she really couldn't grasp that stupid corporate culture. Plus, she'd taken time off for me before. The Manhwa was hinting that she should optimize herself. I knew what he meant. Quitting is fine. But I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not giving up a single cent of the severance I'm owed. It's just a small thing. Leave it to me. Jiang Shui, that company does small loans. The next day, I put on some decent clothes, shaved my beard clean, putting on that worn-out fake Bren watch, and strutted into the lobby. Hello, sir. Do you have an appointment? No. Tell your Ma Najio to come see me. In no time, a fat guy in a suit came waddling over. He matched the photo I remembered. That's him. Hello, sir. What kind of business are you looking into? Need some funding? 2 million. What else? Would I come to a guy like you for $200? I could just get that from my dad. That day, I talked with that damn Ma Najio. From business to products, from ancient poetry to philosophy and life. When I finally left, I didn't even leave a number. The next day, I went back. I kept at it for a whole week. He finally realized I was just messing with him. When I went again, he ignored me. I'm a content creator. I don't have many skills, but I have a wide network. I posted a help request on my Otsao. Wow. A bunch of righteous people answered the call. Some said they'd bring their wives. Some said they'd bring hammers. And one guy who just got out of prison said he wanted to take the country out for some pocket money. I have to say, netizens are really creative, and they talk so nicely. I really lie them. Within a few days, the fat Manhwa couldn't take it anymore and called me. As soon as the call connected, I got straight to the point, fire the employee, and pay the severance in full. As long as you follow proper procedures, those troublemakers will naturally stop coming. Less than 5 minutes after I hung up, Jiang Shui came running to me excitedly, saying the bot agreed to pay up. On the day she quit, I went with her. The Manhwa's face was as green as a bitter gourd when he saw me. A few of the salespeople looked like they wanted to jump me, but I just waved and greeted them casually. Jiang Shui was stunned watching me. You're on good terms with them? Yeah, we've had some in-depth exchanges. Jiang Shui stayed home for a week, sleeping in every day, and eating my cooking when she got up. She complained that she gained a full 6 pounds that week. After resting enough, she started sending out resumes and waiting for interviews. For a moment, I really wanted to teach her to do content creation with me. The two of us staying home all day. It felt pretty nice. I admit I had selfish motives. Having a beautiful woman in the house, just looking at her made me happy. But all of that was ruined by one phone call. Jiang Shui found a new job, working in admin at Sifang District, an hour away from my place by subway. That night, we celebrated. Taking advantage of the alcohol, I pretended to casually ask, when are you planning to move out? Do you need a hand? When did I say I was moving out? I just thought your new company is too far away. It's not that far. You didn't say that before. Your last job was 40 minutes longer, and you were going to move. If you get bullied again, just come to your big bro for protection. Right at that moment, the landlord suddenly pushed the door open. You too, I'm really sorry. I sold this house. The buyer is in a hurry. Please move out as soon as possible. I was stunned, unable to react for a long time. I could only turn to look at Jiang Shui. We can't lie here anymore. Where are you planning to move? To Sifang District? Close to the office, less hassle. What about you? I'm thinking of finding a quiet place in the suburbs. Cheap and good for inspiration. Neither of us brought up living together. Scarily in sync. After all, we hadn't known each other long. From the initial conflicts, to mutual understanding, to fighting side by side, it all happened too fast. If we could have had another 6 months, I would definitely have had the courage to say what was in my heart, and ask her if she wanted to build a life together. But now, bringing it up would just seem like I had ulterior motives. Hey, how about I go find a place with you in Sifang District? 2 people sharing rent could save a lot of money. There's a new colleague at my office. I already made plans to lie with him yesterday. On the day she left, I helped Jiang Shui with her luggage. She reached out and brushed the dust off my shoulder. Want a hug? Hug my ass. We have WeChat. No need to be so dramatic. I instinctively pulled her into a tight hug, watching the moving truck take her further and further away, drifting away with the wind. My lop, just sprouting, then nipped in the bud. I can't remember how she broke free from my arms, or how we said goodbye. She hugged me tight. At that moment, only 4 words came to mind. Fate plays cruel tricks. In the end, I could only wave my hand fiercely at the empty street. After that, our WeChat chat history stopped on September 6th. The next day, I moved too. I called a bunch of buddies over and made a big fuss all day. By the time we were done, it was night. We found a barbecue stall and ate skewers and drank. That familiar feeling suddenly pulled me back to reality. That small figure in my heart seemed to have lightened a bit. Chen, where's that beauty you're rooming with? She moved out. Why didn't you keep living together? She works in Sifang District. What's the point of living with me? Tell me the truth. Are you still thinking about her? No, I'm not. Bullshit. Then why did you rent a 2-bedroom? Those words hit me like a hammer, and shattered the shell around my mind. Yeah, why did I rent a 2-bedroom for myself, even before my friend pointed it out? I hadn't even realized it myself. I spent ages picking out a place that was ridiculously expensive, and really close to Sifang District. I can't even explain it myself. Maybe, like my buddy said, subconsciously, I was still waiting for Jiang Shui to come back. Life went back to the way it was. But some habits are really hard to break, like always cooking too much food. Still not used to ordering takeout. That lazy streak was gone. I regularly sweep the whole place. The empty bedroom is unoccupied, but I still keep it spotless. Today, the rain was especially heavy. Lightning flashed one after another. I was huddled at my computer, working on my horror script, wondering if it's scarier to have a ghost under the bed, or something outside the door. I was deep in thought, and bent down to look under the bed. Damn, it wasn't some dirty thing, but something I never expected. Lying there, the one Jiang Shui had lost. How did the UET by drive get here? Someone knocked on the door, making me jump. I opened the door, and standing there was a woman who looked like a drowned rat. Are you stupid? Can't you give me a hand? Jiang Shui, what's this all about? The agent is such a crook. Can I just transfer the rent directly to you? Let's save the agency fee. That's a pretty unique way to welcome your roommate. Go take a shower, or you'll catch a cold. The water heater in this place leaks electricity. It doesn't. I've tested it for you several times. By the way, how did you find your way here? I asked the agent guy. We used the same agent, remember? He's a pretty nice guy. Not as crooked as you said. That guy is decent. I know. I meant he's dark-skinned. He's really dark. Jiang Shui hummed a tune and went into the second bedroom. I leaned back on the living room couch. The tips of my fingers still felt the chill of the rain from hugging her. I got up and went to the kitchen and reheated the extra food I'd made. Jiang Shui, after she finishes organizing her room this time, she's bound to get hungry again. I know this girl's appetite inside out. She looks small and thin, but when it comes to eating, she doesn't hold back. Back when we lived in the old place, every time I made 4 dishes and a soup, she could eat half a bowl more rice than me. Before long, the second bedroom door opened. Jiang Shui had changed into a clean, light pink pajama set and plopped down on the couch, staring at the reheated food on the table. Her eyes lit up. You really did heat it up. I just ate and I'm full. But it smells so good, I could have a few more bites. She said this while very naturally picking up her chopsticks to eat, completely unlike the mess she was when she arrived in the rain, and without the awkwardness from the time we were apart, as if those 2 weeks of separation had never happened, as if she'd always lived in this house. I sat across from her, watching her eat, the corners of my mouth curling up involuntarily. Didn't you say you were living fine with that new colleague? Why did you suddenly move out, and in such heavy rain? You came all the way here, not afraid. I already have a new friend. Jiang Shui paused, her chopsticks in mid-air, the tips of her ears turning slightly red. That colleague was completely unlivable. Way too picky about everything. The very first day I moved in, he complained that I took too long in the shower, and that I made too much noise when I got up at night. The more she talked, the more she sounded, her pout getting bigger. Just lie when she was bullied by her bot at the old company. As she spoke, her voice got quieter and quieter, her head hanging low, not daring to look at me, her ears red enough to bleed. My heart softened. How could I have the heart to tease her? I reached out and ruffled her hair. It still felt the same as before, soft and fluffy. Come over whenever you want. This place is a 2-bedroom anyway. It's just empty. Your being here makes it warmer. Really? You don't think I'm a bother? A bother? Definitely. You can't cook. You have no common sense, and you always mess with my stuff. But, since you're so good looking, I'll reluctantly take you in. But there are conditions. First, from now on, no sneaking into my study and messing with my stuff, especially my manuscripts and UET by drive. Those are my lifeline. Second, I'll handle the cooking, but washing dishes, wiping the table, and taking out the trash, those are all your jobs. No slacking off. Third, at night, you have to wait for me to check the water heater before you shower. No more being reckless. Lie last time. You almost got hurt. I heard you. From now on, I'll definitely be good and listen. I won't touch your stuff. I'll do all the dishes and wiping. I'll definitely wait for you to check the shower. I promise I won't cause you any trouble. He spoke with such conviction, but I knew the truth. You can only believe half of what she says. Probably in a few days, she'd be testing my limits again. But I wasn't annoyed. Compared to a cold, empty house, I'd rather have her making a little noise. At least the place felt alive. After dinner, Jiang Shui dutifully cleared the dishes. She carried them into the kitchen. She turned on the tap and started washing. I leaned against the kitchen doorway, watching her. Her movements weren't skilled, but she was serious. She scrubbed carefully, afraid of breaking them. Oh, right. How did you find out I moved here? The agent actually dared to give you my new address. I thought he'd follow the rules. I begged and pleaded with the agent for ages. I even bought him a milk tea and said, Chinmo and I are good friends. We had a little fight when we shared a place. Now I want to make up. He softened and gave it to me. He also said when you moved in, you specifically asked if there was a 2-bedroom. You said to keep one room empty. He guessed right then you were waiting for me. Don't listen to him. I just thought a 2-bedroom was more spacious. One for living, one for a study. It's better. Yeah, not waiting for you at all. Is that so? Then who was it at the old place who asked me, want to rent a place together in Sifeng? Who was it? Who had the nerve to ask first? Kid, don't always bring up the past. Go dry your hair quickly, or you'll have a headache and a cold tomorrow. I don't have time to take you to the hospital. Saying that, I still went and got the hairdryer. I plugged it in and helped her dry her hair. Jiang Shui was stunned for a moment, but she obediently sat on the sofa. I stood behind her. My fingers gently ran through her long hair. The warm air from the hairdryer blew softly. Her hair strands tangled around my fingertips, soft beyond words. The room was very quiet, only the hum of the hairdryer. At that moment, A thought suddenly popped into my head. Last time you almost burned down the old house, and you dare to try again? Get out and wait. I'll do it. 10 minutes. Jiang Shui obediently backed to the kitchen door. She leaned against the doorframe, watching me, her eyes fixed, not blinking, like a little fangirl. Chenmo, how do you know how to do everything? Cooking, fixing things, and even standing up for me. You're amazing. I was a bit embarrassed by her praise. I kept moving, frying 2 eggs, toasted 2 slices of bread, warmed 2 glasses of milk. A simple breakfast was ready. Jiang Shui washed up and sat at the table. She wolfed down her breakfast, eating and praising it at the same time. So delicious. How are you so amazing? So delicious. Even better than takeout breakfast. Can I eat your breakfast every day from now on? Depends on my mood. If I'm busy with a deadline, you'll have to order takeout. Don't count on me. She looked up and smiled at me. Sunlight streamed through the window onto her face, warm, dazzling me so I could barely open my eyes. At that moment, I suddenly felt that this was what life was all about. 1 house, 2 people, 3 meals, 4 seasons. Breakfast in the morning, a return home in the evening. Last time you almost burned down the old house, and you dare to try again? Get out and wait. I'll do it. 10 minutes. Jiang Shui obediently backed to the kitchen door. She leaned against the doorframe, watching me, her eyes fixed, not blinking, like a little fangirl. Chenmo, how do you know how to do everything? Cooking, fixing things, and even standing up for me. You're amazing. I was a bit embarrassed by her praise. I kept moving, frying 2 eggs, toasted 2 slices of bread, warmed 2 glasses of milk. A simple breakfast was ready. Jiang Shui washed up and sat at the table. She wolfed down her breakfast, eating and praising it at the same time. So delicious. How are you so amazing? So delicious. Even better than takeout breakfast. Can I eat your breakfast every day from now on? Depends on my mood. If I'm busy with a deadline, you'll have to order takeout. Don't count on me. She looked up and smiled at me. Sunlight streamed through the window onto her face, warm, dazzling me so I could barely open my eyes. At that moment, I suddenly felt that this was what life was all about. 1 house, 2 people, 3 meals, 4 seasons. Breakfast in the morning, a return home in the evening. Jiang Shui's job was in administration, 9 to 6, with occasional overtime. Every morning, I'd make breakfast 10 minutes early. She'd eat quickly and rush out. When she came home from work in the evening, I'd usually have dinner ready by then. She kept her word. Every day after dinner, she'd wash the dishes, clean the kitchen and sweep the living room. She still made little mistakes sometimes, but she'd improved a lot compared to before. I still did my paranormal self-media work, stayed home every day writing, drawing, editing videos. Life was routine and simple. When Jiang Shui got off work early, she'd sit on the sofa, quietly reading or playing on her phone. She didn't disturb my work. Occasionally, she'd bring me a glass of warm water. But in this peaceful coexistence, a subtle, unspoken romance slowly grew, like a thin layer of paper. Neither of us broke through it, but we could both feel the change in each other's eyes. Like when we sat on the sofa watching TV at night, she'd unconsciously lean on my shoulder. When a scary scene came on, she'd grab my arm tightly. She'd curl up in my arms, trembling all over. But she'd still insist she wasn't scared at all. I'm not scared at all. He'd quietly leave the living room light on for me, warm a glass of milk and put it by my desk, then go back to his room to sleep. Lie on rainy days, I'd calculate when she got off work, take an umbrella and meet her at the subway station. She'd take my arm, step through the puddles, laughing happily. On weekends, we rarely went out, mostly stayed home. I'd work on my drafts, and she'd tidy up the place, or try to make some snacks. Though her success rate wasn't high, she'd always bring me the first batch to taste. One Saturday, I was editing a 6.0 at home, busy as a bee. I even forgot to eat lunch. Jiang Shui noticed. Without disturbing me, she quietly went to the kitchen, followed an online tutorial to learn how to make wontons. When I finished and came out of the study, I saw a bowl of crooked wontons on the table. She was wearing an apron, flour on her hands, looking at me with anticipation. I looked at those oddly shaped wontons. Some had broken skins, some had leaked filling. I couldn't help but laugh. I picked up a spoon and took a bite. Surprisingly, it tasted pretty good. Just a bit too much salt, a little salty. Jiang Shui watched me nervously. How is it? How is it? Is it good? Is it terrible? It's okay, just a bit too much salt. Next time, use less, I said with a smile, finishing the whole bowl. Seeing me finish it, Jiang Shui jumped for joy, like a kid who got praised. That afternoon, we sat on the balcony in the sun. She leaned back in her chair, eyes closed, soaking up the sun. Chenmo, do you think this counts as a shared life? Of course it does. We're not just great roommates, we're best friends too. Her eyes sparkled as she looked at me, with a hint of emotion I couldn't read. She opened her mouth as if to say something, but in the end, she didn't, just softly hummed in agreement. I knew what she was thinking was the same as me. It had long gone beyond just friends or roommates, but we were both waiting for the right moment, waiting for the courage to say the feelings we'd hidden. Days passed by. The weather turned cold, entering late autumn, but the house felt warmer and warmer. Coming home from work every day, opening the door to the smell of food, having someone to talk to. It was no longer just my lonely silence. I grew more and more attached to this life, and more afraid of losing it. One late autumn weekend, it was drizzling. The weather was cold and gloomy. Neither of us wanted to go out, so we stayed in the living room. I was sorting through old materials. Jiang Shui was on the sofa, hugging a pillow, scrolling on her phone. The atmosphere was quiet and warm. As she scrolled, Jiang Shui suddenly sighed. Her mood dropped. She threw her phone aside, hugged her knees and buried her head in them, not moving. I noticed something was wrong. I stopped what I was doing, gently patted her back. What's wrong? Why are you suddenly upset? Did something happen at work? Did someone bully you? I spoke softly, afraid of scaring her. She shook her head. After a long while, she looked up. Her eyes were red, filled with tears. She looked at me, her voice choked. It turned out today was her father's death anniversary. I remembered her mentioning on her birthday that her father had passed away. All the family's money went to his treatment. That's why she came out to work, living in cheap rentals. I never dared to ask much about her past, afraid of touching a sore spot. I reached out and pulled her into my arms, let her lean on my shoulder, gently patted her back, like comforting a child. Jiang Shui couldn't hold it in anymore. She cried out loud in my arms. Her sobs were suppressed and painful. I let out all the pent-up grievances and longing from so long. I held her, feeling her body tremble. My heart ached with sympathy. This girl, who seemed so sweet and carefree, so happy-go-lucky, actually carried so much in her heart, so much sadness. She came from a good family, spoiled by her parents growing up. She'd never suffered, but then her father got sick. They spent all their savings, and in the end, he still left. She went from a carefree little princess to a worker struggling alone in a new city. Anyone would find it hard to bear. She cried for a long time. Jiang Shui slowly calmed down. Her eyes were swollen like walnuts, her nose red. She leaned in my arms, softly told me about her past. Her dad used to run a small business. They were pretty well off. She had everything she wanted growing up. She never had to suffer. If she did badly in school, her dad wouldn't scold her. He'd just say, as long as you're happy. Her mom left when she was very young, so her dad raised Jiang Shui alone. He gave her everything she wanted. 3 years ago, her dad was diagnosed with terminal cancer. Jiang Shui had just started college. When she heard the news, she was completely stunned. To pay for her dad's treatment, they sold their house. All their savings from the business were gone. They borrowed from every relative and friend they could, but they still couldn't save him. On the day her dad passed away, he held Jiang Shui's hand and said, "Take good care of yourself. Don't let yourself suffer. Find someone who treats you well and be happy. Don't end up like me." Jiang Shui promised him, but Jiang Shui couldn't stop missing her dad. Every time she saw someone else with their dad, it hurt. After graduation, Jiang Shui didn't want to stay in her hometown, reminded of him. So she came to this city alone, found the cheapest place to lie, found a job to support herself. She didn't dare contact relatives, afraid they'd ask if she was okay, and afraid she'd start crying. Back in the old place, she always liked to argue with me, always touching my stuff. It was because she was so lonely. She wanted to feel noticed. She wanted someone to talk to. Then she got to know me. I celebrated her birthday, stood up for her. Jiang Shui felt like this city wasn't so cold anymore. How dare he mess with my girl? I won't stand for it. During the half-month we were apart, she couldn't sleep or eat well. She always felt empty. No matter where she lived, it didn't feel like home. Only when she was with me did she feel secure. She talked for a long time, told me all the secrets she'd kept buried. I held her, my heart full of sympathy. I wished I could give her all the tenderness in the world. This girl seemed so carefree, but she was actually sensitive and starved for love. All her little tantrums and recklessness were just armor to hide herself. Deep down, she was still a little girl who needed to be loved. I held her tight, my voice low and serious. I told her it wouldn't happen again. From now on, I'd be with her. She wasn't alone anymore. I would take care of her for her father. I wouldn't let her suffer or be lonely. No matter what happened, I'd be by her side. Jiang Shui looked up at me, tears still on her cheeks, her eyes full of gratitude and dependence. "Chenmo, do you really mean that? You won't leave me?" "I mean it. I promise I'll never leave you. From now on, I'll celebrate every birthday with you. If you're wronged, I'll stand up for you. If you're lonely, I'll be with you. Let's stay together forever, Oku. Jiang Shui nodded hard and threw herself into my arms, hugged me tight, burying her face in my chest, softly said, Oku. Together forever. At that moment, two lonely hearts came together. No more distance. The hidden feelings, the unspoken romance, all found their place in that moment. We both understood. We had become an irreplaceable part of each other's lives. That evening, I made a big table of her favorite dishes, opened a bottle of juice, to commemorate her father with her. I told her, from now on, I'd be with her every year on this day. If you miss your dad, just tell me. I'll always listen. Jiang Shui smiled and nodded. The sadness in her eyes faded a lot, replaced by warmth and peace. She knew from that moment on, she was no longer a girl drifting alone. She had someone to rely on, a home. And that home had me. Life went on smoothly. Before we knew it, winter arrived. The weather got colder. The house was warm with the heater on. Our relationship had long gone from roommates to lovers who depended on each other. But neither of us had officially confessed. Yet we silently accompanied each other, doing things that lovers do. But life is never smooth sailing. There are always little storms, testing our feelings. Luckily, we always stood by each other, supporting each other and facing things together. Jiang Shui's new bot was a man in his 40s, a lecherous one. He'd already made some moves on Jiang Shui, always calling her to his office under the guise of work, either making her work overtime, or asking her to do personal errands. Jiang Shui kept it to herself, not telling me, afraid I'd worry or do something rash. Until one night, Jiang Shui worked overtime until after 10. She came home exhausted. Her face clearly showed she was upset. Her eyes were red. As soon as she walked in, she threw herself into my arms. Couldn't help but cry. My heart tightened. I quickly held her and asked what was wrong. Did something happen? Jiang Shui cried for a while before telling me. Her bot had called her to his office again today. He got handsy, trying to take advantage of her. She fought him off and ran out. Then he threatened her, saying if she told anyone, he'd fire her. I was furious when I heard that. I was shaking with anger. I wanted to rush to his company right then, and beat that sleazy bot up. I can't stand anyone who dares to bully my people. Don't be impulsive. Don't go fight him. He's the bot. We can't afford to mess with him. I'll just quit. I'll find another job. Jiang Shui was afraid I'd do something stupid. She grabbed my hand and begged me to quit. Why should you be the one to suffer? You didn't do anything wrong. Quit. He should pay for what he did. I'm handling this, I said firmly. I calmed Jiang Shui down, told her to rest at home and not worry. I'd take care of the rest. I didn't rush to his company to cause a scene. Instead, I gathered evidence first. I had Jiang Shui collect all the chat records of his harassment, call logs, and any evidence from coworkers who saw it. I also talked to a few colleagues Jiang Shui was close to. Turns out, this bot had harassed more than just Jiang Shui. He'd harassed other female employees too, but they were all afraid of losing their jobs, too scared to speak up. I've been doing self-media for a long time. I know a lot of media friends and bloggers. I have plenty of ways to deal with this kind of creep. First, I took all the evidence, anonymously sent it to the company's headquarters disciplinary department. Then I contacted a few local lifestyle bloggers, subtly exposed the shittery, to warn other working women. At the same time, I consulted a lawyer friend, asked about the legal issues, and reserved the right to sue. A couple of days later, the head office sent people to investigate. That sleazy bot tried to deny it, but the evidence was solid, and other female employees came forward to testify. He couldn't deny it. To protect their reputation, the company fired him, and issued a public apology, apologizing to all the women he'd harassed, promising to strengthen management to prevent this from happening again. When Jiang Shui heard the news, Chen Mo, you're amazing. You solved it so fast. I thought it would take forever. That's what you get for being my girlfriend. Anyone who dares to bully you, I'll make them pay. I blurted it out before I realized I'd said the word girlfriend. I felt a bit embarrassed, my ears turning red. Jiang Shui was stunned for a moment too. Then a sweet smile spread across her face. She stood on her tiptoes and kissed my cheek, whispered, Det, I'm your girlfriend. You have to protect me from now on. My heart melted. I pulled her close, bent down and kissed her. The kiss was gentle and deep, holding all our love and companionship. Not dramatic, but unforgettable enough. From that day on, we officially became a couple. No more unspoken romance. We were openly lovers. The shared apartment had completely become our little home, full of sweetness and warmth. Not long after, I ran into a little trouble too. My paranormal self-media Otsao was maliciously reported by a competitor. They said my content was superstitious. Several videos were taken down for violating rules. My Otsao was also throttled. My income dropped a lot. I was feeling down. Stayed cooped up in my study, not wanting to talk. Jiang Shui noticed and was worried. She didn't say much. Just made me delicious food every day, stayed by my side, encouraging me. She even started learning about self-media rules. Stay up late with me, help me figure it out. Jiang Shui sat beside me, holding my hand. Don't lose heart. Your content is so good. It's just that someone targeted you maliciously. Let's adjust slowly and redo it. It'll definitely get better. She encouraged me with a firm look. With her company and encouragement, I slowly adjusted my mindset, re-optimized the content to avoid sensitive spots, made better videos and scripts. Jiang Shui also helped me brainstorm, came up with many novel ideas. Her ideas were quirky and clever, perfect for my paranormal Otsao. Unexpectedly, after the adjustment, the Otsao traffic slowly recovered, even better than before. Followers grew faster. Income was much higher than before. I hugged Jiang Shui, full of gratitude. It was really all thanks to her. Without her, I'd definitely still be down. She's my lucky star. Jiang Shui was also very happy to hear that. Said she's my girlfriend. She has to help me. From now on, we'll work hard together. Make life better and better. Jiang Shui leaned in my arms, smiling sweetly. The best lop is never one-sided giving, but mutual company and support. When trouble comes, someone faces it with you. When you're down, someone pulls you up. Through storms, never leaving. Winter snow arrived quietly. The city saw its first snow. Snowflakes flying everywhere, covered in white, especially beautiful. That day was a weekend. Heavy snow outside. The room was warm with heating. I had prepared for a long time, planning to make a formal confession to Jiang Shui, give her a sense of ceremony. We had already confirmed our relationship, but I never formally confessed to her. Always felt I owed her a ceremony. This girl followed me to a rented place. Didn't enjoy much, suffered a lot. I wanted to give her enough security, let her know I truly want to spend my life with her. I decorated the room in advance. Didn't buy expensive flowers or candles, just used her favorite little fairy lights. Decorated the living room and balcony. Also cooked a big table of her favorite dishes. Bought a small cake and a simple silver ring. Not expensive, but bought with money I saved for a long time. Representing my feelings. Jiang Shui woke up in the morning, walked out of the bedroom, saw the warmly decorated living room and a table of food, instantly stunned. Looked at me with surprise. Asked what day it was today, why it was like this. I took her hand, let her sit at the dining table, my eyes serious and affectionate. Looked into her eyes and said word by word, today is no special day. I just want to formally confess to you, want to give you a sense of ceremony, want to tell you how much I lie you. From the beginning as grudging roommates, hating each other, to slowly getting familiar and keeping each other company, to now being of one heart. I never thought my life could become so warm because of one person, so meaningful. Before, I thought just getting by was fine, having food to eat and a place to lie was enough. But after meeting her, I knew what home is, what it means to care. I don't have much money, nor great abilities, just an ordinary self-media blogger. Can't give her a life of wealth, but I can promise that every day from now on, I'll cherish her, love her well, not let her suffer, not let her be lonely. I'll cook 3 meals a day for her, stay with her for life. Jiang Shui, I lie you, not on a whim. It's after careful thought. Are you willing to be my girlfriend? Willing to be with me forever? Marry me. I took out that simple silver ring, knelt on one knee, looked up at her, nervous and expectant inside. Jiang Shui stood still. Tears instantly streamed down. Tears of emotion, tears of happiness. She nodded hard, her voice choked. Det, I've been willing for a long time. I stood up and put the ring on her finger. It fit perfectly. From now on, you're mine. Can't run away for life. Jiang Shui hugged me, crying uncontrollably, but smiling so happily. Looked at the ring on my hand and smiled. This is the best gift I've ever received. More beautiful than any gold or jewels. That day, we stood by the window, watching the snow flying outside. Ate and talked about the future. Our hearts full of warmth. No fancy words, no expensive gifts. But this simple happiness is more precious than anything. It snowed all day. At night, the snow stopped. Outside was pure white. Moonlight on the snow looked especially beautiful. I took Jiang Shui's hand and went downstairs for a walk. Stepping on the thick snow, making crunching sounds. We walked slowly hand in hand, chatting, laughing, and playing. The winter cold was driven away by each other's warmth. Jiang Shui pointed at the moon in the sky, happily said the moon is so round, but no matter how round the moon, it's not as beautiful as her. I lowered my head and kissed her forehead, my heart full of love. At that moment, I suddenly felt, the happiest thing in life is meeting the right person in the vast crowd. After all the twists and turns, it's still you. For the rest of my life, it's all you. After officially confirming the relationship and making promises, our days remained plain but warm, but with more certainty and stability. No longer a drifting roommate life. It's 2 people staying together. Jiang Shui still went to work every day, came home to hot meals, I still did self-media. My career slowly got on track. Income became more stable. We saved money together and planned for the future. Planning to put a down payment in a year. Buy a small house. Truly have a home of our own. Small frictions in life still existed. I still complained about her being scatterbrained. She still complained about my sharp tongue, not being romantic. But we both understood. This is how we get along. Arguing but never really getting angry. Instead, our relationship got better. During the new year, I went back to Jiang Shue's hometown with her, to pay respects to her father. I stood in front of her father's grave, seriously told him, I'll take good care of Jiang Shue for life. Be good to her, let him rest assured. Jiang Shue stood beside me, holding my hand, her eyes full of gratitude and peace. After the new year, we returned to the rental, started a new year of hard work. I worked even harder on content. The Otsao grew bigger and bigger, took on some suitable ads, income multiplied several times, saved more and more money. Jiang Shui also switched to a better job, easy, stable, with a much higher salary, no longer had to suffer, het pie every day. We still lived in that 2-bedroom rental, but it had long become our little home, every corner filled with our memories, full of life. We woke up together in the morning. I made breakfast, she tidied up, came home from work together in the evening, cooked together, watched TV together, talked about the day's fun, stayed home together on weekends, or went out shopping and watched movies. Plain but het pie. Sometimes we'd think back to the old house days. Remember that broken door that couldn't lock. Remember the scare from the water heater leaking electricity. Remember her carelessly losing my UET by drive. Remember the mess of me carrying her to the hospital. Remember those noisy times. Couldn't help but smile at each other. If I hadn't agreed to room with you back then, if the landlord hadn't sold the house later, if I hadn't shamelessly come back, would we have missed each other? No, even if we missed for a while, we wouldn't miss for a lifetime. People destined to be together, no matter how many detours, will eventually come together. After all the twists, I'll still meet you, still fall in love with you. It's destined. Fate is so wonderful. From initial dislike and resistance, to slowly feeling my heart flutter, to finally staying together. A lifetime seems accidental but is actually inevitable. Two lonely people in a strange city, met because of rooming together, fell in love through company, turned messy, trivial days into warm poetry. In the blink of an eye, another spring. Flowers bloomed outside, everything revived, full of life. We saved enough for a down payment. Found a small 2-bedroom apartment, square layout with good lighting, not far from Jiang Shue's company, also convenient for me to work from home. On the day we signed the contract, we held hands, looking at our own house, our eyes full of excitement and hope. Jiang Shue hugged me and said happily, we finally have our own home. No more renting. No more moving. From now on, this is our home. A home for life. I smiled, my heart full of relief. From a shabby rental to our own house. We worked hard together, struggled together, finally found a stable home. When moving, we didn't call many people, just the two of us slowly packing things, every item with memories. Carefully moved to the new home. That UET by drive, found again. I placed it in the most prominent spot on the desk. It's a witness to our meeting. The portable hard drive she gave me back then is still kept, filled with our memories and my inspiration. The new home was decorated warmly, arranged in our favorite style. The first night in the new home, we cooked a big table of food, opened a bottle of red wine, celebrated our new life. Jiang Shui sat across from me. Thank you. Thank you for always being with me, giving me a home. I'm the one who should say thank you. Thank you for appearing in my life, warming my years, making me no longer lonely. I raised my glass and clinked with hers. For the rest of my life, in snow and in plain times, it's you. In poverty and in wealth, it's you. The tenderness in my heart is you. Wherever